Head office has asked me to pop down to Looe to find out what it's all about. Luckily for me, it's got probably the biggest car park in the world.
My name's Mark Camp. I'm the manager of the Tourist Information Centre here in Looe in Cornwall. Looe is built on the river. It's historically been a fishing port, but from the Middle Ages onwards it's also been sort of a trading port, and which reached its sort of climax probably in the mid-1800s when the minerals mined up on Bodmin Moor, tin, copper and granite, was brought down here by railway to be shipped out all over the world. The earliest buildings, apart from the churches, which you'll find, it was always the earliest buildings. We've got a few old buildings in what we call the back streets, which are the old fishermen's cottages with the living upstairs and the storage rooms downstairs, all in a sort of maze of lanes and alleyways. Sadly, the fishing fleet is dwindling these days. I'm not sure how many boats we've got in here at the moment in Looe, but we've still got the second biggest fleet in Cornwall and a very busy fish market. And we pride ourselves on the fact that Looe fish is day fresh. It gets caught, it comes in, it's sold the next morning, whereas a lot of the boats in other places in Cornwall are out for 6 days and the fish is on ice for 5 or 6 days. So the fish from Looe is fresh and it will be marketed here in the morning and might be in London by lunchtime. The season is getting longer and longer, from Easter now till sort of October half term. As long as the weather stays like it is today, lovely and sunny, then the season lasts. And then we have a great rush over Christmas, New Year. Looe is one of the best places in the country to be for New Year. Everybody dresses up in fancy dress, there's fireworks and it's a great party. I mean, there's a huge great car park over the other side of the river which does still get full up sometimes in the summer, we'd rather people came using public transport. We've still got the railway comes down to Looe, so you can come all the way from London or Birmingham by train if you want. You don't have to bring the car. And once you're here, there's buses and trains, so leave the car at home and enjoy your holiday. There's fishing trips, there's boat trips. You can go out to Looe Island and have a look around to the nature reserve out there. We've got a wonderfully safe sandy beach here in Looe with all the amenities right behind it. Or we've got rock pools, and kids can go and explore a sort of little world of its own sort of thing. So there is something for everything here at Looe.
I was getting back to Looe Island. Up till recently it was owned by a couple of ladies. I think one of them passed on, and I just wonder what's happening with it now.
It was owned by two sisters. They bought it in the 1960s. Sadly, both have now passed away, and they left it to the Cornwall Wildlife Trust, who now run it as a nature reserve. It's got the seals off the island there. We've got one of the biggest populations of great black-backed gulls out there. It's just a little piece of Cornwall hidden away. As say that they limit the amount of people that can go out there. There are boat trips in the summer, but it is limited, so it's never busy out there, and it's never the animals are allowed to get on with life.
Talking of seals, you had a famous seal that used to visit come up the river there.
Yeah, Nelson, who used to come into the harbour here, and the fishermen would feed him, and he was called Nelson because he only had one eye, and got to a huge size. Sadly, has now passed on, but we commemorated him by a nice bronze cast of him over on the rocks on the other side of the river. Looe's got something for everybody. It's as I said, it's got the safe sandy beach. It's ideal for toddlers and kids, and in the summer, you can sit on the beach all day and go swimming there. But come sort of like slightly out of season, and September is great for coming down and walking. We have a walking festival. We also have a music festival in September. We've got great restaurants, great hotels and B&Bs. It's something. There's something here for everybody. There's lots of heritage, there's lots of culture. You can walk to Polperra along the coast path. It's probably the best 2.5 hours, 3 hours you could spend that doesn't cost you anything. It's a fantastic walk. So yes, I think there's something for, and you can go fishing and all that sort of thing. So yeah, everybody can do something here.
I'm Barbara Birchwood Harper, curator of Looe Museum, which goes from 1587, when we got granted a charter to try our own people, manage our own town.
I see downstairs there's the lock-up. So when does that date to?
1587.
Right.
That charter gives us permission to lock them up, and also anything like, you'll see over here some of the weights and measures. If they did something like that, the wrong weight, they were in trouble.
Right.
Now, if you got put in the stocks, first effect was about 3 days, 3 nights. You still didn't learn your lessons, 6 days, 6 nights. Got put in the pillory. If you really messed up, they'd chop your ear off.
Really?
Nice little town though, isn't it?
What, in Looe?
In Looe.
They would chop your ear off?
Yes.
What, for measuring the wrong weight?
Well, if you kept doing it, if you kept trying to settle here and you didn't belong here,
Yeah.
you're a thoroughly nasty sort,
Right.
that's what they did with you.
Oh, they should bring that back.
I think so.
Yeah. I see you've got a scold's bridle, is it,
Yes,
downstairs?
yes.
Can you tell me anything about that?
Well, it was foolishly thought that women could be shut up from nagging their poor misjudged men
Very foolish,
by
yeah.
putting that and stopping their tongue wagging.
Right. What can you tell me about Joseph visiting Looe Island?
We've got 2 items in the case you've already seen, which is amphora head and ingot. We do know from various writings, and if you saw the Time Team programme, it proves there was trade between the Mediterranean and this country, this area, for tin and copper. And it's always been widely, well, if you were Glastonbury Abbey, which they were, you owned a couple of chapels down here and there were pilgrims coming, you weren't going to say, oh no, we didn't, were you?
No.
So we've got a lot of information from various people I've collected from various people. It did happen.
Right.
At least Joseph Valentia did come here.
Right. Fantastic.
Otherwise, why would Glastonbury Abbey be so interested in a tiny little church and a tiny little chapel right the way down here?
What can you tell me about smuggling
Smuggling
in
in
Looe?
the Looe, well, there was a coast guard called Thomas Fletcher from Ireland. He came down here for about a couple of years, got married. His wife obviously thought, nah, I don't get free brandy like Mrs. Next Door. He swapped and became a smuggler. I mean a fisherman.
Oh, right, okay.
And descendants of both families, the Hoopers and the Fletchers, are still living in this area.
Right.
I don't think they smuggle though.
No.
But Amram Hooper's descendants became quite rich.
Right.
Independent means, it is said.
Very good. I like all that.
Don't ask if there's any
No.
smuggling still
I
going
was going
on.
to say, they're the ones with the big shops on the top of the hill.
Well, when his grandson died, James Benjamin Hooper, who had also helped build the Banjo Pier, when he died, he had a large will, quite a long roof. Obviously very well off. We'll leave it at that.
Right.
Right.
Fantastic.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to know?
I'd like to know, is there any famous ghost stories in Looe?
Ghost here is called Jennifer.
In this building?
In this building, right in the cell where you went.
Oh, no.
Oh yes.
Right.
I've seen a whisper of a skirt going into that cell. My predecessor, Jean Dingle, actually stood over where that doll's house is and felt someone breathing down her neck and shot out of the door.
And who is she?
We just know her name was Jennifer, a young lady, a comely young lady. And there was a burgess who wanted to become more familiar with her. She said no, and she was never seen again. People who've come here have sort of been mediums or psychics or whatever, say she was pushed into a quarry. Unless you're local, you wouldn't know there was a quarry here.
Right.
Yeah.
Aha.
Every morning since Neil and I took over 10 years ago, we'd come in and say, good morning, Jennifer. We've never had any trouble.
That's
The
nice.
burgess was identified some years later, and he's a grumpy old beast. He sits near here.
Does he? This is another ghost?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, who is he?
A burgess.
A burgess?
Well, like a councillor.
Right, okay.
Not the current councillor, I understand.
I understand, yeah. And he sits here?
He sits here, yes.
Yeah. And he just, what, he keeps an eye on things, or?
He's a bit grumpy, I suppose.
Yeah, well, he would be.
Dipped out, didn't he?
Well, I've thoroughly enjoyed my time in Looe. I would like to thank the Tourist Information Office and everyone here at the museum here in Looe. And catch us again next week when we will be visiting the Monkey Sanctuary just up the road. Hello? Yeah, I've finished. Hello, I've finished. Hello?